NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst you legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhijalan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there, as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go. Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast and our new friend to get to know on the other end of the line. So tell me, who the fuck are you and what do you do?
Hello, I'm Daphny, and I'm an indoor skydiving instructor and competitor, and obviously also a coach. I compete in the tunnel since 2017. Before that, I started in skydiving from 2012. My first competition in skydiving was in 2013. I compete in freestyle. This year, I also competed a little bit in dynamics, two-way dynamics. And that's it. That's me. I'm awesome.
I came across your profile, and it's the wonderful thing about skydiving and social media is it's very easy to see who I would like to talk to just by scrolling through all these amazing profiles. And you have a profile picture that is just jaw-dropping. It's beautiful.
It's the one with the dress, no?
Yes, your
Yeah.
head down with this amazing gown that's just spread out behind you, and it's very dramatic.
It's actually a really nice project. A girl named Laurel Heights. She works with this designer who makes these dresses, and she sent me the few dresses and asked me if I could do a photo shoot in this outfit, and it sounded awesome. So I organized a really amazing photographer that I know, and we did a photo shoot in the tunnel. We had amazing photos. It was one of the best photo shoot I've ever done. And actually, I hope to do it soon again here in Botrop. She already sent me new dresses, so maybe soon I'm gonna have new photos.
How did the dress hold up in the wind speed?
Mm, wait. Let's say you cannot really fly with it. You just it takes maybe 10 to 15 minutes until there's no dress.
That's kind of what I
So,
expected.
yeah, it was really funny.
I talked to
But
I talked to Roberta Mancino not that long ago, and she was telling me about some of the stuff she's done in clothing that is not designed for free fall.
exactly. And also, like, I had some few photo shoots that I had to fly without helmet and without goggles or nothing on my eyes. I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, it's not.
You
It's
no.
hardcore. Oh, well, I started out in the old wind tunnel in Las Vegas, and shame on me. Whenever we would do staff flights, we never wore helmets because we were stupid. But this was also back in 1997, so it was a few years ago.
Yeah, also, if you have like long hair, also not recommended
Oh, no, no, no,
without helmet.
absolutely.
No, 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 no.
So
It's I
before we get too deep into to what you're doing now, let's jump all the way back to how you got started. You said you started jumping in 2012.
yes.
And how'd
Well,
that?
it started even before that because since I remember myself, I just wanted to fly all my life. Since I was a little girl, I was like always dreaming on flying. And I even once, well, maybe you can count it as my first base jump. I had this I had this small doll of a parachuter, that you just let it fall from high places and it's like skydiving. Then I really wanted to be like this doll, and I lived in a building. Our apartment was on first floor, so it was not that high. But I took a blanket and I jumped out of the window, and I actually landed on my legs. It was not fun. It was a little bit painful. But then I came back to the apartment from the staircase, and my parents were like in shock. And the day after, they put like, uh, these metal things on the windows, so I would never jump again. But that was my first jump. And after that, they signed me up for gymnastics. So for me, it was kind of flying. I was
Sure.
doing this many years. After the gymnastics, I started to do aerial acrobatics in circus group. So I also was kind of flying. And then at some point, I was teaching aerial acrobatics. And then my students bought me for my birthday, they bought me a tandem jump. And then when I did the tandem jump, when the door of the plane, they opened it, and I saw the sky and I saw some clouds, and I just knew, I said, okay, this is what I need to do. And then when I landed, I just signed up for the course, and that's how I started.
Well, I mean, what a natural transition to go from aerial acrobatics to what you're doing now in skydiving. I mean, that seems like the perfect thing to do.
It's combining everything. It's like combining freestyle. First of all, it's like gymnastics. So it's combining my first love, which was gymnastics. I loved it very much, and I was a competitor back then. So it's that. In the tunnel, we do it with choreography and music, so it's even more amazing. And it's also combining a show. When I do a routine, I really try to put a lot of effort on my choreography, like I'm doing a show in the circus. It's very important for me. So it's combining everything, my dream of flying, my performing and gymnastics, and it's amazing.
I mean, it must have been too, and I mean, I would imagine that would also make telling the family that you're now going to jump out of airplanes to do all this stuff maybe a little bit more understandable since you started out so young jumping out of windows.
Well, yeah. My mom once told me when I came and told her that I'm gonna do a skydiving course, she was like, "What's next? I don't know what's next with you." She was like, she didn't know what to expect anymore
Right.
at some point.
So you go out and you make that first jump, you do the tandem, and like a lot of us, you got bit by that first jump and were just thrilled by it. But what were you doing at the time? Like, first off, where were you living and how old were you at the time? Were you in school? Was this?
Oh, I'm actually kind of old. I started skydiving, I was 29,
I started
my
at
first
27,
jump.
so that's not too bad.
So I was 29 and um,
Oh, I think we may have lost the
I was
connection.
still, can you hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, I'll get you to start that
Yes.
bit over again. We lost that part of the connection.
Okay, so as I started to skydive, I was still working in the circus. I was still performing and I was doing my thing, still coaching acrobatics and stuff like that. But it happens really quickly that I started also to work in the drop zone to be able to afford, like, I'm from Israel originally. So over there, everything was super, super, super expensive. Like, I can't even imagine. You can't even imagine.
Sure.
So yeah, that was the only way that I could afford skydiving is if I was started to work in it. So yeah, I started at the beginning. I was working in the editing room. I was editing tandem videos, and then I became a tandem photographer. I was jumping with the tandems,
Sure.
and yeah, and then I started competing.
I mean, honestly, I suppose that seems like the most rational transition in skydiving I've ever heard was to go from the circus to skydiving. That makes complete sense.
It's yeah,
Because
it
it's,
is.
I mean, it's skydiving is just another circus.
Exactly. I just always trying to look for the highest place to be in, I wanted to fly. So I just looked for the real flying. And the
So
moment I
did you,
found it, I just knew.
when you got started in skydiving, were you one of these students that showed up at the drop zone going, I'm going to work in this sport and I'm going to compete in this sport, like right off the bat? Were you one of those?
I wasn't that arrogant, but inside, I knew that, oh man, I'm gonna do it all the way. I knew it. And I met someone from the skydiving association. She explained me about the freestyle. And the moment she told me about this category and she showed me some videos, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that. I want to be in the world champion. Uh, and then I told her, yeah, I have to do it. I can do it. We didn't have anybody over there that knew that could coach freestyle or whatever. But I said, yeah, sign me up to the competition. And, and that's how it started. Like,
I mean, that's fantastic. Well, it's kind of funny too, because as an instructor, over the years, of course, you always get students that come out and say those things. Oh my God, I can't wait till I'm working in the sport and I'm going to compete and I'm going to do this. And when you're an early instructor, you go, okay, yeah, kid, and you pat them on the head. And then one of them goes and does it. And you're like, oh shit, they weren't kidding. And then you start believing it when people say, nope, hey, this is what I'm doing. Because I guess somewhere along the lines, the drive that it takes maybe fades from memory a bit until you see someone just pushing for it, and you're like, oh damn, they're going. Here we go.
yeah. So, yeah, in Israel, everybody At the beginning, they were laughing at me. They say, you cannot go and you cannot reach the high level if you are here. You cannot do it. There's not enough, and there's not a good level here. It's impossible. It's too expensive. Million things. And whenever people tell me that I cannot do something, makes me want to do it even more and just prove that I can. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And they were just like laughing at me. But at the end, yeah, I did it. And when I started to work in a tunnel and coach, I encouraged a lot of people to start competing in the tunnel. I was working in the tunnel in Israel for almost, let's say, 6 years. And I had a lot of students there. And I encouraged them, most of them kids, and they started to compete also in Europe. And I like very encourage them to join this sport and be very and fulfill their dreams, you know.
Sure.
It was also my dream to make this community bigger. I had a lot of
Think we lost you
Can you
again.
hear me?
Yeah, here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go. I mean, the wind tunnel community has done so much, not only for skydiving, but of course for itself. And you said a lot of the kids you encouraged to go out and compete. And I remember watching, as a great example, the Wittenbergs going out and training. And her first video that came out that Kaylee and Noah and Mike, of course, produced and put out was the video 9 that was on Vimeo. And it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, because I'm watching this 9-year-old kid who's not only clearly very mature in the way she's thinking, but she's flying at a level that I knew I would never achieve. And she's 9 years old. And now what those kids do is just insane.
Yeah, but I also think this sport is amazing because it doesn't matter how old you are, and it doesn't matter if you're male or female or fat or skinny. If you have enough time inside, you will do anything,
Sure.
whatever you want to. So it's just you and your willpower. If
Sure.
you want it and you believe it, you will do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like. I also like that it's not only physical, it's also very mental. So it's amazing. I love this sport.
Now, what was that very first competition like?
It didn't feel like a competition to me. It was in skydiving, and I was like, what is this sport? Everybody's super nice. I came from gymnastics, you know. In gymnastics, everyone is your enemy. You don't talk to the judges. The judges are like gods. And if you come even close to a judge, they can disqualify you. And then I come to a competition and everybody is super nice. It was in Bosnia. It was the World Cup. It was the first time that I was jumping out of my drop zone. I had, I think, maybe 200 jumps. Maybe I was like super beginner. and I think at one point it was raining and the hangar with all the equipment got flooded and some people's gear were wet. And then some other competitors told the people that needed some gear, yeah, you can take my parachute. And I was like, what? If my competitor were like someone who competes with me comes and asks me something, you know, I had this gymnastics mind and I would like, why are they so nice? And then, you know, you do the jumps, but you don't feel the competition. You just give the video. So I was like, wow, it's the chillest competition ever. But I kind of like this feeling of competition. So the moment I started to compete in the tunnel, I felt it more. And then I could also see the reaction of people and I could see the judges. I like this kind of nervous.
Sure.
But skydiving was fun. It was also nervous for me because it always like was in worse conditions than I used to jump. the first time we jumped through clouds on my first competition, like on training, they let us out 2 miles from the drop zone, and then I found myself landing in a small soccer field in the middle of a village, and I was like, and nobody talks English. And then they came to pick us up with a helicopter. That was so crazy.
Sure.
So yeah, I had always like some things to get nervous of, and it always was colder than I used to jump. Everywhere in Europe was too cold for me. So yeah, it was different kind of situation, like getting nervous of some kind of situations. But yeah, it was
Sure.
funny.
It's funny, my first skydiving competition was actually kind of similar in that I was very low time. Both my skysurf partner and I were very low time. I think I probably had around, I actually had just over 200 jumps because I had to have my D license to do the competition. And we were competing in the open category, and we got there, or pardon me, we were competing in the intermediate category, and we got there to find that it was empty. We were the only team. And the only other team to compete against were the current champions, Craig and Tanya O'Brien. And we decided we'd rather come in second in the open to Craig and Tanya than first to nobody in the intermediate. So we did that and had a blast, and had the people that destroyed us giving us tips on how to do better in the competition during the competition. It was amazing.
Yeah, sounds like skydiving.
Yep. Yeah, it really is. Well, and that's what the overriding theme that always comes back in the podcast is it's such a community driven sport that it really is incredibly welcoming to all levels. Now,
Yeah, it
is the tunnel like that? Because I'm not a modern tunnel flyer.
um so the tunnel, it feels more like close to the sports I know, let's say. The community is also amazing, and there's there is like higher level than in the sky at my point for when I was competing, that's for sure.
Sure.
And yeah, I think as the sports grow, it becomes more and more like let's say the normal sports, when there is more politics inside sometimes, and there's like, as the level goes high, it becomes more competitive.
Sure.
But overall, it's very nice and amazing community, and most of the times everybody is super nice and helping each other, and especially when you are going to the new categories and start the new categories for the first time, it's amazing.
Well, now seeing it from the outside, especially, I see this crazy curve as everybody keeps getting better and better. But how do you see it from the inside? Because to me, what you guys are doing now in the tunnel is indistinguishable from the shit that I used to do in the tunnel 28 years ago. It's night and day. And I realized that as soon as I was watching a talented tunnel flyer and could not figure out what they were doing to make the movements happen. And that's when I went, oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, for sure. For me, when I, let's say, start to build a routine, I first of all try to think, how am I going to be different than others? This is something that's very important to me, because right now in the high level, most of the flyers can do almost all the technical stuff. Of course, that there is some people that are stronger in tricks, some people stronger in flying. And for me, it's very important to be different. Like, I try to combine my past, let's say, gymnastics and circus. I try to combine. It's very important to me to pay attention on the choreography, even though it doesn't give me points. And at the end of the day, I want, when people see my routines, they will feel something. And I want when people who doesn't know me see my routine and they will say, this is Daphne. We can see that this is Daphne. It's not
Sure.
like anybody else. So I try to take a lot of time. I try to take, let's say, a line of flying that obviously everybody will do. And I try to think, how am I going to do it a little bit different? And how am I going to do it a little bit more interesting? Maybe combine some different moves, maybe something that looks more like a dance. And it's very important to me, sometimes even more important than to get the highest difficulty on the routine. Because I really want to love what I see, not to like struggle. Am I gonna do the hardest thing and like say, okay, he's doing 3 flip twists, I'm gonna do 4 or stuff like that. I just want to do it different.
Sure.
And
Well, it's funny that
yeah.
you say you want people to be able to look in without being able to see your face and know that it's you flying by the way that you're flying. And it's funny that you say that because I remember the first time that I recognized someone by the way they were flying, it was Rob Jones. And I watched him and instantly knew just by looking in, oh, that's got to be Rob with the way, and it was. And it's amazing how much that personality comes through in someone's flying.
Exactly. And this year I realized that was my best year so far in achievement, training. I have this a monster. I see that. Hello.
I think I got you.
Can
We
you
don't
hear
have,
me?
yeah, we don't have the greatest connection today.
Yeah. So I said it was my best year so far regarding to the achievements I got, the amount of competition I did, the training. I have amazing sponsors support me and help me achieve my goals. So this year I was just trying to do everything from the heart. And I said to myself, I don't care about anything in the competition. I don't care about getting the highest difficulty. I don't care about getting on the podium or not. I want to do something that would be amazing for me. I want to create the best routine I can do. I want to see, I had this very emotional music. I really wanted it to look like I'm playing the music with flying. That was my goal. And the moment I put aside the thinking about competition and stuff like that, it just magic happens. Because I was getting so emotional and excited about this routine. It was like my baby. So I didn't care about anything else. And then it became just the best thing I've created. And obviously people saw it. And freestyle can be also very subjective. All the artistic event, it can be super subjective. You sometimes judges love you, sometimes they hate you, and there's nothing you can do. So I said, okay, I can only do my best. And if I love what I do and I love my routine, then it doesn't matter what place I get. And that was my state of mind the whole season. I also decided to do the same routine in all the competition this season. And just before the World Cup, I just, let's say, added some new things, small things, but the routine was the same. So it just made me, I could fly this routine with my eyes closed. And whenever I was just like something went wrong, I knew exactly where I should be in the music. I had my cues. Everything was just like on the second. And it was just, I felt super amazing about it.
So now for those that have never been in person for one of these competitions, you're doing your routine set to music. So you're listening at the same time that it's being played for the crowd as well, yes?
Yes, we have this headset. It's connected to a transmitter. We put it under the suit. It's not the most comfortable thing. But yeah, then we hear the music and we can fly with it. It's not mandatory. People can fly without the music. You just put the music as a background. But for me, it's super important. I love to fly with the music.
Well, especially if you're
And
looking to hit cues with that music, it's
yeah,
obviously that's integral to your routine. That would be incredibly important.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean,
it also make it like fun. It's more
technology,
fun.
it's crazy. I mean, in the old days flying in the Vegas tunnel, you would jam those earplugs as far into your head as you could get them, and they'd still come out, and you'd still have your ears ringing for days. And now you guys are dancing to music.
Exactly.
Fuck it. I was either born too damn early or too damn late. I don't know which. I was very spoiled. I lived in Dubai for quite some time, and so I got to
Oh,
watch.
I can't hear you.
No, did you got me now?
Now I hear you. Now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. You lived in Dubai
Yeah, I
and
lived in Dubai for quite some time, so I got to see some of the world's best tunnel flyers coming through and just sit back jaw dropping, and then I would fly Team Maktoum when they get out of the tunnel and get into the sky, and I would watch some of the insane stuff that they were doing in free fall, trying to model after what they'd been working on in the tunnel, and it was such a neat process to watch.
I can't imagine. Well, I was in Dubai twice. I was there in a competition. So one time it was a competition. Um, I don't remember when was it. Was sometimes after COVID. And then after that I came to have a camp in a tunnel. Both time was really nice and I had really nice experience. I really wanted to go to the Abu Dhabi tunnel, the big one at that time, but they were fully booked and I had only one day off, so I
Oh,
didn't get the chance.
uh,
And
I
then also I didn't get the chance to jump over there. It was a competition tunnel and
yeah, I
tunnel
only
camp. So
I only got to fly in that big tunnel once and very briefly, and I had just enough of a look around to realize that was big enough for me to break my neck. Like I could really hurt myself in this tunnel.
oh, it's such a dream to fly in this tunnel.
It's massive. It's very difficult almost, even when you're there, it's difficult to wrap your head around just how big that tunnel is.
Yeah, I think I've heard some stories, yeah, and people said that when you go up, you cannot see the net, so you can then press the net very
Yeah,
easily. But
yeah.
I have to do it. I have to.
Oh, of course. So now that first competition way back in, you said it was 2013, and then you've obviously transitioned to all the tunnel competition stuff, and you're doing a bunch of coaching. You got to be busy as hell.
Yeah. Well, so I'm, it's my personality. When I love something, I just go all the way. So for me, when I started to skydive, I was just dreaming of the sky and I was dreaming of things and elements and new tricks and stuff. And then I was trying this in the sky. And obviously, I was working really hard and spent every penny I had on skydiving. I didn't care about anything else. I was fully committed. And then they opened a tunnel in Israel, and I knew that if I want to reach the highest level, I have to work in the tunnel. So then I started to work in the tunnel full time, and then it was easier for me to start competing in the tunnel, and I really, really loved it. I also really loved the tunnel because I got to fly all the time.
Hey,
I
yeah.
didn't need to worry to open the parachute and then just finish the jump. So, like the tunnel was amazing for me because I love the free fall. Free fall is my thing. I It's okay, canopy piloting, it's okay. I will not say anything bad about it. But I just don't like to see any canopies around me, and I just don't like to land. Like then you're just on the ground again. You're not flying. So
Yeah.
I need to fly. So for
Yeah.
me, the tunnel was amazing. and it was the way to improve my skills and get better. And yeah, I was very, very busy. Unfortunately, the tunnel in Israel, they stopped my sponsorship 2 years ago with their own reasons. And then I really wanted to start doing some things outside of Israel, and they didn't see it in a very good eye. So at some point, I decided to no, I got this. Okay, it's a big story actually.
That's
I will
good.
try to say it as nice as I can. So yeah, they stopped my sponsorship 2 months before the World Championship in Slovakia last year, not this year. And I didn't have any other way to train to this sponsor. And kind of parallel to this time, I had a camp in Berlin. We had the Ladies Flow, which is an amazing event. We organized, like, there's a awesome person named Lena Rieker. She's organizing this camp, this event, and she invited me to coach there. It was the first time I'm coaching an event in the tunnel, it was like a boogie when they fly in groups, not one on one. And it was an amazing event. So after this event, I just had a nice reel on Instagram. I did it and I posted. And then some Boris, it was just like Boris that I didn't know started to follow me. He saw this reel and he really liked it. And he reshared it, and then he wrote me if I can send him this video, if he can post it. And I said, yeah, sure, just tag me. And then after that, it was just like posting a lot of things, of like reposting my things, and I was like, wow, who is this guy? And I didn't know him. And then one day, one person in Israel told me, wow, Boris really likes your videos, your stuff. And I said, yeah, I don't know who he is, but he's like, really liked my stuff. And she looked at me and said, OMG, he's just like the owner of ISG Technologies, he's like building tunnels all around. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that. And I was like, almost, it felt a little weird for me. Why he's posting all my stuff? Well, anyway, that person, she just wrote him, they knew each other. So she wrote him that I lost my sponsorship. And it was just like 2 months before the competition. And then he just wrote me, I heard you don't have a sponsor. So I would sponsor your time for training to this World Championship. And I was like, what? And I said, whoa. And I couldn't believe, because it was just writing on Instagram,
Sure.
And I said, no way, it's true. There's no way. And then I told him, you know what? These 2 students I'm taking to the German nationals to compete. And it was just like a few weeks after. And I told him, okay, so maybe I see if I can change my tickets. And after the competition, instead of coming back home, I will go to Bottrop. And then he said, yeah, sure, let me know. And then I said to myself, okay, I switched the tickets. I was preparing to just in case to be like very disappointed. I was just like, don't expect anything until you are inside the wind. That's what I was talking to myself. And then he told me, you don't need to care about the accommodation. I will provide the accommodation also. You just come here and fly. And I was like, okay, it's either a serial killer or I just won the lottery. And then I was the girls competed, they went back home, and then I was like about to go to bottom. Actually, I saw him the first time in Munich in this, and to the he told me, I'll talk to you in Bottrop already and don't worry. And I was like, okay. Still super weird. The next day I was on the plane about to take off. I didn't still know how to get to Bottrop and nothing. And then he just sent me a text message with a number of a taxi driver and said, okay, the taxi will wait for you in the airport. You just go to the tunnel. So I landed, I called this taxi driver, it took me to the tunnel. I still couldn't believe I entered the tunnel. Then everybody already knew that I'm coming. He was not there. Boris was not there yet. They were like, hi, Daphne, you can put your stuff here. Here is the tunnel. Let us know if you need anything. And I was like, what? I was pitching myself just to make sure that I'm not dreaming. And this is how it started. And I was like competing. I told him, okay, he just booked for me a lot of time. And I told him, no, maybe I will just fly a little bit and then I will come again before the competition. He said, here, you don't need to save the time. You can fly as much as you need. And then next time you'll get new time. I was like, what? Super crazy. And yeah, and then I had a week of training over there. It was really amazing. And before the competition, I came another time. And obviously, I trained only 2 weeks for the World Championship. So I was not really well prepared. But it was really important for me to be able to compete that year and just show the tunnel in Israel that I can still do everything without them. So that was really important for me. And after the World, it was not my best competition, I must say, but still was okay. And I came out, I think I came out in 13th place out of 20-ish, something. So it was not the best, but okay. And then after the competition, I just wrote him if this sponsorship could keep going. And he said, yeah, sure, you just need to come here. And then he just became really my sponsor. So I was just going in, coming a lot, like maybe every 2 months I came to train. It was not the ideal thing, but still it was better than nothing. And at some point, he started to talk to me and said, you know, if you want to move here, we can help you with that. We can help you with work. We can help you with everything you need. We want you here. And for me, it was really hard because I had a lot of students in Israel. I had like more than 50 active students that came, let's say, at least in one every week or two. And most of my salary was coaching, and it was hard. But I started to think about it and kind of started to plan on it because I had to all the time to go to Germany and waste the cost of like flights and stuff like that. So whatever I worked for just went to the cost of traveling. And whenever I was coming to training, I didn't work. So I was like super committed to training. So then, I started to talk about moving to Germany. And then the plan was to move here around February this year. But then the war started. It was just before a big event that they did in Bottrop. They did this 30 years of flying event. I was invited. I was actually coming back from Finland. I had a camp in Finland. And I came back to Israel on October 7th. And I arrived home at 3 a.m. And then in 6:30, everything started. And it was crazy, crazy, crazy. And a week after, I was supposed to go to Germany. Then my flight was canceled. And Boris did amazing things, like to find me, like he tried to find me a different flight and take me out of there. It was a hard time, but he said, no, you are coming to this event. You are sponsored here. I want you here in this event. And somehow we found a flight. And in my mind, I didn't realize that this thing is gonna be so big. So I just packed for 10 days. I said, okay, this event is happening, and then I will stay for training, and then I come back. Probably everything will be okay in a week, because we didn't realize how big it is. And then I just left, and I couldn't go back since October. I couldn't go back. Then everything just happened. Well, I was started to planning the move anyway, but it just happened a few months before. And
Yeah,
it
start
was,
about it being accelerated. I mean, especially when you go there for 10 days and it all just kind of caves in. That's crazy.
yeah, I was like, it was a big dilemma, because I already had more camps. Like I had a camp in Brazil and another camp in Finland, and I didn't know even if I could go back to Israel, if I could go out. Everything was just like a big madness. So I decided to stay. I was living in like a motel for, let's say, 4 months
Mm.
until I got an apartment. The indoor skydiving Botop and Boris, they helped me a lot. They really, everything I needed, they supported me. And then I started obviously to work there, because I also needed to get some money. So let's say now I'm less busy than I was. I still like trying to get more students, but it's starting to get better and better. And I also, because of I was here and I trained really, I had a really good training season. Then I just had amazing competition season because of that. So some bad things happen, but some really, really good things happen. And just like now trying to
And
manage.
it's crazy that you can aim the majority of what's been going on over the last couple of years for you back to one Instagram reel.
Crazy.
Isn't that mental?
That's I can't even explain. But everything in skydiving, I'm not coming from a rich family. I don't, my parents, they struggled all my life to just provide us and to make us be able to do our things. So, but in skydiving, everything just, it was like a miracle just happened to me somehow. Like when I started to skydive and I wanted to do the course, I didn't have the money to do the course, but suddenly I just got a lot of money from an insurance from an accident I had in the circus. That I had some injury, and suddenly I got the money for. And then I did the course with that money. And after that, I was getting from another insurance another amount of money, so I could buy my rig. And then one time, it was crazy. One time I just didn't have the money to buy some jumps, and I just walked with my dog on the street, and I found a lottery ticket, that the one that you scratch.
Yeah.
And then I scratched, and it was like the amount of 10 jumps
Huh.
I had in this ticket. And I was like, wow, wow. Like everything was getting in order to make me jump and fly. So, and the same with Boris, he came just at the right time that I needed that. I was almost like heartbroken that I could not compete, and suddenly something happened.
And now you find yourself living in Germany, trying to learn the language, in what must have been quite the transition, especially since you thought you were going there for 10 days.
Yeah, yeah. So since this, well, 4 months I was with the same suitcase with this only 10 days clothes, but then I had to go back to Israel in just before the Wind Games. My dad passed away, and I had to go there. then I was it was obviously hard. So
Mm.
yeah, what can we do?
Yeah, for
Life
sure.
goes on.
Now, so moving forward, again, you find yourself in Germany working and you're sponsored there to compete and you're starting to get more students. What do you see down the road? Like what big competitions are coming and what's the long-term plan or is there one?
I don't like to plan too far away. I am living the moment. That was something I was doing kind of all my life. I just, maybe it's not the most responsible thing to do, but that's me. So right now I'm planning the next competition season. Obviously, the biggest competition is the World Championship in Belgium. And I'm also gonna judge the outdoor World Championship this year. I'm gonna be in. I did the artistic event course, judging course of the FII, so I'm just gonna judge for the second time actually
Nice.
this event. So it's really nice, and I plan to do some maybe 3 or 4 competitions before the big competition and try to do my best, obviously. And in between some camps and working.
Nice.
Everything is about getting to the big competition
Sure.
and be as ready as I can
Sure.
to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and I really love to coach and to teach. So I have some camps coming and I'm excited. This month I also have a camp in Munich with a lot of kids that fly there. So I'm excited about that too.
With the way your ride has been up till now, I can't wait to follow and see how it all comes together next. So for people that are listening, especially people that are maybe in your area and they're looking for good coaching or they want to see what the next competition holds and all that, how do people find you on social media? How do they go find that reel that got you sponsored in the first place? You know, where are you?
So everything is on my Instagram account. It's the easiest way to connect with me. It's just my name, Daphny Morali. Daphny with a PH and Y. It's a little bit weird, but it's easy to find like that.
Autocorrect doesn't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't like it. I also can reach for me on Facebook, but on Instagram you can actually, I have this WhatsApp button, so people can write me on WhatsApp or direct message, and everything is over there. It's super easy to connect.
Oh, well, Daphne, I'll tell you what, first off, I can't wait to see what comes next competition wise. I can't wait to hear what next luck befalls you, that something goes amazing that way. But I also have to thank you so much for taking the time this evening to sit down and talk to me and kind of tell me your story. And again, I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you. That was really fun.
Yes, absolutely. It was a pleasure to meet you, and it's going to be a pleasure to see what comes next.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Damn.